Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show. Or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my honor.
You're going to acknowledge me.
Welcome to the Monday Night Raw review, everybody. It is the 21st day of January, 2025. It's a Tuesday, and we're going to talk Monday Night Raw. As you can hear, my voice is kind of back. Still not quite there. Another couple days, I think I'll be back in the saddle. But I want to thank you guys for joining me here as we are going to go through Monday Night Raw, and the best that I can anyway, and go through segment by segment. Not everything, but the big points. It's a 2.5, 3 hour show. So if you are new here, we don't go through every nook and cranny of the show, but definitely hit on the topics that most people are talking about. And we do the best we can to analyze it. I give you my thoughts about it, and maybe you agree or disagree. But the biggest deal is that you're here, and I appreciate it. And if you want to support the show, you can go ad-free at Patreon. You can go ad-free on Apple or Spotify, or just give us a rating. Give us a 5-star rating, and that also helps us out. You can also follow us on X, okay? X, which is wrestling_audio, or search the WWE Podcast. So let's dive right in. I know that we have a Saturday night main event show this coming week on Saturday, obviously, and it's kind of like a PLE, or it's in between a regular televised show and a PLE. The last one that was done had pretty good reviews. I mean, because the bar wasn't too high and you had some good wrestling, and that's kind of what Saturday night's main event is. So that's what this will be. I'll give you my official predictions for that on the Friday mailbag show. So a little bit of a combo show, and look forward to that. And if you want to join the mailbag too, by the way, you can do that at mailbag@wwepodcast.com. So send your emails and thoughts and whatever else you got. All right. So let's dive into Raw, though, as it came to us from Dallas, Texas, the American Airlines Center. And we had footage earlier in the day of Rhea Ripley arriving and Nia Jax attacking her and ran her into a wall. Of course, Adam Pearce does his weekly freak out of get a medic, get medical, get an ambulance. That's just what he does best. Apparently, it's part of the job description. I mean, Adam Pearce blows a gasket on a weekly basis, but I'm not hammering him for it. It's just funny to see Adam Pearce every week involved in a pull-apart brawl, and that eventually leads to some kind of medical intervention. But we had Jey Uso come out, and Cole stood up at ringside. He pumped his arms. Barrett called Cole an absolute goofball and said he was dancing like a drunk granddad at a wedding. I don't know how inaccurate that is. It probably is a fairly accurate assessment. Cole then slapped hands with Jey, and Jey stood in the ring and said he would take home the big one on Saturday night's main event. World Heavyweight Champion Gunther comes out, and Gunther assumed Jey was going to say that he would win the World Heavyweight Championship. Jey said yes, that he would take the belt and hang it up in his room. Gunther called Jey a funny little man. And Gunther said Jey looked him in the eye last week and said he was going to look forward to facing Jey until he saw him come out and act like a complete dork and a company mascot. Gunther said he could just be challenged by Jimmy Uso. Oh, that was great. Gunther said Jey never follows up his words, and he said the fans are naive enough to believe every word Jey says, but he doesn't. Gunther spoke about Jey showing up for different people and said that makes him a useful idiot. And they continue to go back and forth. I'm not going to go through everything here. It eventually leads to Gunther attacking Jey after Jey had mentioned that who's the one here that main evented WrestleMania. Which, yeah, it's true, but not in a singles capacity. So there's that there, Jey. Okay, there was a tag team action, but I'll leave that as it may be. And we had some punches back and forth, a super kick, of course, to Gunther, rolled out of the ring, and then Jay picked up the World Heavyweight Championship and placed it on the mat. Gunther returned to the apron while Jay encouraged him to take the title, and Gunther dropped down to the floor and reached inside the ring and took his championship. Kind of your standard build for a championship match. This is one that I think just it's a filler. And I don't mean that disrespectfully to Jay, but man, the timing's not right. The build isn't right. It's WrestleMania season, man. And there's just no plans for Jay to be walking in as world champion. Gunther's just getting started, essentially, as a world champion. We want to see what it's like having him bring it into WrestleMania. He's not going to lose it on a Saturday night main event. So spoiler alert. Okay. That's not what's at stake here. What's at stake is who's Gunther's next opponent. I know we're overlooking Jay, but sorry, we kind of got to here. We have to. Is it Goldberg? I know Goldberg had teased a couple of months ago trying to get in the ring, and he mentioned, I don't know, it was a Sports Center or some kind of college day game. Not sure. He's going to, essentially target Gunther and get in the ring one more time. I don't know who the audience is for this, but if it ends up being true, I mean, I don't see the value in it. Who has been helped by any Goldberg return match? Name the person. No one. Goldberg is fine for a run-in spear. Okay, that's it. A run-in spear and some nostalgia. That's all. That's just kind of it. And one thing before I do continue on that I want to mention, because I know I'm going to forget, but it's kind of big news here. So anybody like myself who have been really looking for any kind of hints that Stone Cold Steve Austin could be returning, not for a match again, but rather for a just kind of a cameo appearance to finally stun The Rock. I don't know if it's happening this year. And the reason I say that is Stone Cold recently put on his Instagram, and probably other outlets, that he had a knee replacement surgery. Not a knee surgery, a knee replacement surgery, like a full knee replacement that he said he's been putting off for years. He got it about 2 months ago, so sometime back in November. And it's a full year recovery. Year recovery. So that means that if you're looking for a Stone Cold Steve Austin return, even for a stunner, that would mean he'd have essentially 5 months to recover enough to deliver a stunner. I know I keep going back to it, but I'm just so disappointed that this year didn't include it because it was perfectly set up for it. And they teased it again this year with The Rock backstage, looking at the Austin's face on a production truck. So it's possible, but with a full knee replacement, I don't even know if they'd risk something wacky happening where Austin doesn't obviously take any bumps at all, just hits a stunner and leaves. I mean, maybe. There's not a lot you need to do with your knees. You just kind of give a pretend kick. Okay, so you got to just kind of give him a waist-high kick, at least the motion of a kick, and then you land on your ass. So, I mean, maybe I'm understating it and not thinking of the nuances of what could happen here, because Austin obviously has to walk down to the ring. I doubt it's going to happen, sadly. But if you're looking ahead and playing the long game here, perhaps this is for Austin maybe a WrestleMania 42 appearance. All right. He may not appear at 41. Maybe he'll even have a match at 42. I'm not saying for sure, but if you're looking and playing the long game and he gets his leg fixed, hell, maybe. Who knows? But certainly no match at 41. Definitely no match at 41. In fact, again, even the single appearance for a stunner is in great question. All right, so back to reality, into the Monday Night Raw review. I just wanted to share that with you guys because I came across it today with Austin's account. So we then have New Day walking backstage, Kofi and Xavier, when they spotted someone and said, it's finally someone understands. The camera pulled back and showed JBL. Kingston put some cash in JBL's jacket pocket, while he and Woods spoke about how JBL understands their decision. JBL said he gets it and said Big E was charismatic, and now they got rid of him. The fans will pay attention to them. Kingston and Woods took offense and walked away, and Rey Mysterio then comes out. So JBL kind of slowly making his way back into the fold. I don't want to see JBL in a match, but I don't know. I'm kind of mixed. I have mixed feelings on JBL just generally, but anyway. So we then have Bayley after Rey Mysterio made his entrance for the match against Kofi. Bayley was interviewed by Kathy Kelly in a backstage area and announced she is officially a member of the Raw roster. And she declared for the Women's Royal Rumble match. She spoke about the champion she could challenge. And to that I say, sorry, Bayley, LOL. Yeah, last year was your year. It's nice that they're doing these interviews with you to kind of shake things up. But you're still a big name in the company, but let's be serious here. There's no chance of you winning. None. Sorry, Bayley. But fun to think about if you're a Bayley fan. So Nia Jax then crashed the interview, and they had an audio issue with her initially, and Jax said she would take out Tiffany Stratton, then she'll win the Rumble. Bayley said she saw what Jax did to Rhea and dared to try something like that to her. All right. Then we got the New Day Kofi versus Rey Mysterio. Xavier Woods was at ringside. JBL was on commentary. I have to say, JBL is good on commentary. He does have some talent. I mean, I have enjoyed him. Anytime he's on commentary, generally he's been pretty good. So, but JBL was he ripping on Ray and talking about him being a bad father to Dom. Cole asked if JBL was still upset by Ray retiring him, and JBL said he had a fever that night and endangered his own life by going through with the match. That was kind of funny. Kingston wrestled in black jeans and sneakers. Really good to see them changing up their attire. And we had Rey Mysterio beat Kingston in 11 minutes after Ray hooked him into a pin and got the 3 count. So a surprise victory, I guess. Really one that I'm not following this. You want New Day to get heat. They had ultra heat after they turned on Big E during the New Day celebration. And then they just kind of went into obscurity. The Raw Netflix thing happened. They took a back seat. There wasn't a whole lot of talk about them. They were backstage, just kind of everyone, blackballing them, cold shoulder, all that. And they haven't really been put back into the fold for, a month now. And perhaps it'll heat back up with a potential Big E return at the Rumble. But right now, it's kind of disappointing how they followed up here. And having them lose matches, even singles, is not good. Ray doesn't need a victory. He doesn't need another victory for the rest of his career. He can roller skate into the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's lock it up, throw away. The key. There's nothing more that Rey Mysterio needs to prove. And arguably Kofi, with the run that his team is on, vastly need that victory more than Ray does. But hey, okay. So Ray then exited the ring and celebrated for a moment before Woods returned and attacked him. Kingston and Woods roughed up Ray until Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro run out. And then Kingston and Woods run away, but they returned to ringside, and Woods shoved Wilde against the ring post, and Kingston and Woods made their exit. And the crowd did give them a lot of boos here, but despite the fact that you had the after the match sore loser heel attack, which we also saw later in the show, we'll talk about it. The heel's got to get some victories, man. What about a sore winner? That can exist too. Why not have a heel win, cheat, or straight up whatever? But that's not enough. They want to inflict more damage. They can still do that. So I don't know. I mean, Kofi and Xavier, I would say, have taken a step down and a little bit of a back seat since their really brilliant heel turn. All right. I guess it's all about Big E. And if it's not, I don't know what the end game is. All right, so we had a video package recapping Penta winning last week, his debut match over Chad Gable. And we then had Sami Zayn backstage. And then we had Cole talk about past WWE events and recalled announcing the winner of the first season of NXT's reality show. And we had footage here of Wade Barrett winning the contest on June 1st, 2010. Yeah, 15 years ago. Barrett said the birth of WrestleMania and him winning season 1 of NXT were two pivotal moments in WWE history. Kind of funny comments here from Wade. And then Sami Zayn was in the ring. He announced he's in the Rumble. Zayn said Seth asking if he would help himself for once made him think about a lot of things. He spoke about his 14-year-old self and eventually said he believes he's every bit as good as the top WWE wrestlers and said they're all in the match. Zayn said the only difference between them and him is that they've held a world championship, but he hasn't. He said he doesn't feel like he needs to compete, that to complete him. He said the support of the fans has meant more to him than a world championship could ever mean. Yeah, I don't buy that for a second. That's BS. No, nobody believes that. Yeah, support of fans is good. You can't tell me that people cheering for you means more than actually holding a world championship. Because here's the thing. Your 14-year-old self didn't just picture you getting cheered by a crowd. It likely, because I remember being 14. I was 14 once, like many of you. And what do you picture yourself doing? Holding a world championship. So don't try to sell me that, well, our admiration is worth more to you than gold. Nonsense. Stop, Sammy, please. Stop the pain. But he said he doesn't need a world championship, but damn it, I want it. Well, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, you should, I would hope. All right, Kevin Owens then comes out carrying the Winged Eagle Championship. And once he was in the ring, he looked at Zayn, who said he knew it was only a matter of time before Owens would come. Zayn said how Owens wanted to do this, and Owens asked what he meant. Zayn said everyone saw what he did to Cody for teaming with Roman. Owens, then admitted that he was upset initially, but it's not the same because Zayn and Reigns have a lot of history. Owens said that Reigns did a lot of terrible things to Sami, and Sami chose to overlook it, just as Sami Zayn forgave him for some of the terrible things he did to him. And he said, "You're a good person. That's who you are." Kevin Owens to Sami. And he added that Zayn is his best friend. This continues here, and Owens spoke about main eventing WrestleMania with Zayn and winning the tag team titles. Owens said they now can main event WrestleMania for the WWE Championship if Zayn wins the Rumble and Kevin Owens wins the championship from Cody Rhodes, which, again, another LOL moment. Sorry, Owens. KO. Ain't gonna happen. I mean, I'd say you have a slightly higher chance to win the WWE Undisputed Championship from Cody than does Jay winning it from Gunther. But that's not saying much given the fact that I basically gave Jay a 0% chance. So, here's where it gets fun. Owens said that he'll walk out of the Rumble as champion because he knows that Sami Zayn has his back, just as Zayn had Reigns' back. And he knows that if he needs him, Sami, that he will be there. Good stuff. Good stuff. Because it puts Sami in an awkward position. They're now on opposing teams, with one as a heel, one as a babyface. But can their friendship survive the fact that they're on opposite teams? Or does one decide to defect, meaning Sami decide to defect to the dark side? I doubt it. I think they just kind of coexist for the moment, but it looks like, at least again, from what I'm seeing in the long term, they could be setting something up for a Kevin Owens Sami Zayn match again. Now, we've seen this time and again, but it has been a little bit of time now. It's been a minute, as the kids would say, since we've seen these two lock up. And they've gone through a lot of character evolution. So if they went back again to the well of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, there are some benefits. Number one, you know that these two on air and off air just have incredible chemistry. Sometimes the backstage chemistry doesn't translate on air and vice versa. But the question is, again, what's the long-term game? Is it to get Sami versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania? Is that the end game? It could be. But it was compelling because you're wondering, what's Sami thinking? Is he going to back up Kevin? Now, my guess is, again, that Owens is in some perilous position. He is about to lose the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes goes up and captures the belt, and he's going to blame Sami Zayn for not helping him. I mean, you can kind of see that coming, where Owens loses, and had Sami been there to help him, Kevin Owens could have won, and then Kevin, of course, isn't going to take responsibility for himself. He's going to blame it on others, and that's what this was for. To set the table for a Kevin Owens attack, I think, on Sami Zayn as early as next week. So keep an eye out, folks. They could just be, it could be a Royal Rumble. I mean, I don't know where they're going with these two, but that's my guess. All right, continuing. Nia Jax versus Bayley. This match, 12 minutes. Hell of a long match, I got to say, especially for a Nia Jax match. Long match. And Bayley set up for the Bayley to belly, but her shoulder gave out, and Bayley clipped the back of Nia's knee. Jax caught a charging Bayley with a pop-up Samoan drop and followed up with a senton and then hit the Annihilator for the win. So Bayley loses clean here. After the match, Rhea Ripley comes out, charges the ring, throws some punches, hits her with a headbutt, shoulder tackle, more punches, pull apart, security, Jamie Noble. I mean, the usual suspects come out and do the pull apart brawl segment. So each person got free. Each person got a big spot in, table spots, sentons. It ended with Jax slamming Ripley's head on the broadcast table, and then Ripley got up, did a cannonball dive on Jackson security, and then got on the table, stood up there with a mic and said, "You and me, Saturday night main event." That's it. So, yes, we're going to see these two face one another, and that's fine. It's not a new feud. Again, Saturday night main event is not designed, at least from what I'm seeing, to be anything earth-shattering. No big returns, no big title changes, or if they do happen, it's going to be as rare as a blue moon. And it's meant to be a very wrestling-heavy show, which is totally fine. Every show doesn't need, especially every PLE, does not need earth-shattering returns, crazy twists, heel turns. We don't need that all the time. In fact, the less it happens, the more it means when it does happen. All right. So, again, good quality match here. And we then got inside the Judgment Day's clubhouse. And we had Chad Gable speak with Dom and recalled that he said that he could help him with his luchador problem. Dom handed him a card, and Gable looked at it and told the other Judgment Day members that he was off to, quote, learn the dark arts of Lucha Libre. That was, yeah, my God. Kind of weird, but funny. So Gable left. Dom told Liv, Raquel, Carlito, and JD that it's not a bad thing to have Gable owe them one. And McDonough showed concern over getting a rematch for the tag titles next week when Finn Balor won't be there. Dom offered to take Balor's spot. Morgan assumed he wouldn't mind, or she wouldn't mind. Morgan told Dom that she hoped his plan would go better than the one that he had for Rhea Ripley. And Dom said he knows Morgan isn't mad at him, but he's going to make it up to her anyway. And Morgan said, "Oh, you will," before leaving the room. So, kind of a little bit of a trouble in paradise story. Nothing that anybody's super invested in, I will say, between Dom and Liv. We've seen it kind of play out. But anytime you have this little like kind of love story, it does have a place in wrestling. Not all the time, but these two have had good chemistry on air. And I don't mind this little like, what's the end game with these two, you know? Are they going to split? Are they going to stay? Yeah. I'm watching. I'm fine. As John Cena would say, am I entertained? Yeah. Yes, I am. So then we had Seth Rollins shown warming up backstage when Sami Zayn approached him. Sami said he appreciated the talk last week and Rollins got through to him. Rollins said he heard Zayn's comments and he's almost rooting for him, but he'll throw him over the top rope if push comes to shove in the Royal Rumble. And Zayn said, "Not if I throw you out first." Kind of reinforcing the every man for himself attitude that the Royal Rumble carries. All right. Penta versus Pete Dunne, or Pete Dunne. I want to say Pete Dunne. Every time, I can't get that out of my head now. But as you'd imagine, Penta does win here in 10 minutes. And Penta got, the finish is that Penta charged Dunne, who caught him in a dead-eye position and dropped him down for a near fall. Penta did his hand gesture again, but Dunne grabbed his hand, put him in a triangle choke, and then Penta powered up Dunne for a powerbomb pin and used the sacrifice arm breaker, followed up with a Penta driver. So fine. You know, you're not going to be as hot as your first week. No one is. But it's a nice follow-up win. The key is to give Penta some momentum. And that's what was done here. And as Penta goes on here, I am curious as to what his end game is, or at least his longer-term plan that WWE may or may not have for him, because they're going to have him likely go on this bit of a winning streak and look good, and took out Chad Gable, now takes out Pete Dunne. He's being put with guys that he can, his strengths can be, showcased, as they should. He's a new talent. You want him to look as good as possible. So, alrighty. A Logan Paul video package aired. He said it sucked to be one of his haters because when he sets out to do something, he becomes the best at it. He boasted that he became king of the internet and is the only man to beat Floyd Mayweather. He asked what would make you think WWE would be any different. He said he will eat, sleep, and breathe wrestling until he becomes the greatest star to ever enter the ring. You're looking at the GOAT, ladies and gentlemen. And, hey, I have no issue with this. Logan Paul right now has already... I don't think he's on his way to the Hall of Fame yet. I mean, let's pump the brakes. But if he did what he did part-time, imagine what he could do when he's full-time. If he truly is investing himself, and I do believe he is full-time, the future is incredibly bright for Logan Paul. The only downside, I would say, and we've already seen this, injury. Not that his body is injury-prone because of age or anything like that. It's simply a little bit of inexperience combined with unnecessary high risk. I know that's part of his style. I mean, he's given us a lot of crazy moments. The match with Roman Reigns, the spot with Ricochet, with the double cross body in the middle of the ring. That's all fine and well. But I think injury could be a potential issue for Logan Paul as his career goes on. All right, so the broadcast team then listed the following matches and events for next week's Raw in Atlanta. We do have the announcement that Logan Paul is going to come back to Raw next week. The War Raiders, Eric and Ivar, are going to take on Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough for the World Tag Titles. And Cody Rhodes, because ratings or whatever. This is, oh my God. Do I need to continue to hammer this home? What about this transfer window? What happened to that? Are we not even respecting a transfer window, of which, by the way, they were very vague? So, can Cody just come and go wherever he wants? I thought that belt was exclusive to SmackDown. I mean, there's no brand split, guys. there's no brand split. None. Doesn't exist. You can pretend there's one. WWE can play pretend. We can all play dress up. Plug our ears, close our eyes, and we can all just kind of, play in the land of make-believe. Because that's where you have to live to believe there's a real brand split. Alrighty. I mean, no one cares. Oh, I'm screaming into the ether. No one cares. But I do. So CM Punk comes out, or at least his entrance music played, and he was shown slapping fans' hands in the concourse. And then Cole joined Jackie Redmond for an interview in an area just inside the concourse. And Redmond said there are only so many ways to get to WrestleMania. In the main event, anyway. She said the Rumble's one way, but Punk has never won a Rumble, and this one's looking like the most loaded Rumble yet. Redmond asked what makes this Rumble for Punk any different, and Punk said history. He spoke about beating Seth while claiming that Rollins is a favorite to win. Punk said that the lights will be bright and the pressure is on, and that's when he's at his best and when the people are behind him. Punk said he can't see John Cena throwing him over the top rope, and said Roman Reigns needed his help to settle family business at War Games. And he said there are no friends in the Rumble. He put Drew McIntyre in the dirt, but he said not to ask him about Sami Zayn because Zayn isn't on his level. A little dig at Zayn there. And then here's where the money quote comes, right? This is likely the headline you've seen, YouTube videos, X. Punk said if they put Hulk Hogan in the Rumble, he'd, quote, throw Hogan's dusty ass out of the match and kill Hulkamania forever. So Punk said he's settling scores, cashing in debts, and calling in favors if he needs to. He said 29 men are going night-night. And Cole said McAfee still won't have Punk on his show, and Punk played to the crowd and chanted his name. So Punk did encounter some boos here, no doubt about it. I don't think it turned him heel in any way. It was just kind of a momentary reaction. Because I think a lot of people do want to see John Cena win. They want to see, perhaps Roman Reigns win, or maybe The Rock, if he's in it. But the quote here obviously is talking about Hulk Hogan's dusty ass. I don't know where the hell that came from. Maybe he's just playing on the fact that Hogan got booed out of the Raw debut on Netflix 2 weeks ago, knowing that most people don't really like Hogan or want to see him at this stage of his career anymore. Maybe that's what he's trying to capitalize on. But it was an interesting quote. And please, WWE, if no one's getting any ideas, right? No one's getting any smart aleck ideas of hitting Hulk Hogan's music at the Royal Rumble. For the love of God, let's not even go there. So we have Pure Fusion Collective. I have a little segment here, and Io Sky and Dakota Kai took on Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. I enjoyed this. I had to say, when I saw Shayna, it was one of those moments I have every here and there is, oh, wow, they still work here. That's what I said about Shayna. I go like, oh, wow, okay, she's still here. I actually said that out loud. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's good. I like Shayna. But a fairly quick match here with Io Sky and Dakota Kai beating Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark in about 6.5 minutes. The finish was Kai avoiding a diving Stark at ringside and then hit her with a kick from the apron. Baszler sent Kai back to the floor and then put Sky in the Karafuda clutch. Sky jumped through the ropes, feet first to break the hold, and it also pulled Baszler into the ropes, and Sky went up top, hit the over the moonsault on Shayna and got the victory. So, not the smoothest finish, but it continues, I guess, to build a little bit of momentum for Io Sky and Dakota Kai, who could be put back in the women's tag team title picture. Fine. But again, it got some ring time for Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, who desperately need any and all attention they can get at this point. All right. Keep it moving. So, here are the matches for Saturday night's main event. Again, this is not official prediction show yet, but here are the matches on the card as of right now. Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax for the Women's World Championship. Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. Braun Breaker versus Sheamus for the Intercontinental Championship. And Shawn Michaels presides over the contract signing between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens for their ladder match for the WWE Championship at the Rumble. And Gunther versus Jay for the World Heavyweight Championship. Gotta say, now that I say it out loud, the card sounds bigger than the last Saturday Night main event. It sounds bigger. Do I predict anything crazy? Any big returns? No, but wouldn't that be the time WWE would strike? I'd strike when the fans aren't predicting it. Not that I'm the representation of all fans, but you get my point. All right. We then had Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins in the main event. 17 minutes. Seth Rollins wins. And the ending here, again, kind of mimics an earlier women's match. But, again, I've got nothing bad to say about this match. Nothing. These two are just pros. I say that a lot, but, when you've got talent of this caliber, what more can you say? I mean, you really have to just go to the finish on this because that's really what matters. Not to discount everything done during the match, some of the fun near falls. All of that is a lot of fun, and having the commentators tell the story about these two and the history of these two, and they are two grizzled vets, no doubt about it. But the finish here is Rollins countering out of a clothesline and rolling up McIntyre for a 3 count. After the match, McIntyre immediately started hammering on Seth, hit him with the Claymore, and McIntyre pulled Rollins' head against the ring post, and Sammy comes out, makes the save, and then he attacks McIntyre, hits him with the Glasgow kiss, though, and Zayn went for the haluva kick, and it hit Rollins. So, Rollins, if you're looking for more evidence of a potential heel turn for Rollins, this could be it. Yes, he got the victory over Drew, but one of the guys that another big babyface on the roster accidentally hits you. Is that going to send you over the edge? I keep waiting for Seth to turn. I mean, please. I think it's a net positive for everybody, not just him, but a new, fresh opponent. Seth's been a babyface since 2019. It's time. 2020. All right. So, good episode of Raw here. No doubt. I mean, one that didn't feel as corporate as the last couple did. It had a lot of wrestling in it. I mean, I shouldn't say a lot. I mean, 5 matches in 2.5 hours is, it's better than, what they did at the first episode of Raw, which is like 3 or 4 matches. But still a lot of filler. Raw continues to have the identity of the entertainment-y show, and SmackDown, I mean, SmackDown is more wrestling, but WWE as a whole, I think, is transitioning to less wrestling, more entertainment, more backstage skits and things like that, which, when it's done well, is fun, but the main core of the show should be wrestling in the ring, cutting good promos. I mean, that's honestly, in my mind, what WWE should be doing, but what the hell do I know? They continue to evolve based on what the market and the fans want. And right now, they're doing what they feel is going to make them the most money and be the most successful moving forward. So, all right, well, guys, I was going to go for another 5-10 minutes here, but my voice, I keep having to, I mean, you're not hearing it, but I keep having to stop the show. My voice is just not ready. It sounds a little better than the other day, but it's starting to give out. I mean, I'm coughing every 5 seconds here. Again, you're not privy to it because I'm nice and professional. I don't want you to hear my coughing and everything else. So I will leave it there, and give you guys a little bit more later this week with a mailbag show and the preview and prediction show for Saturday night's main event, which, as I said, I'm pleasantly surprised as I read it out loud what the card is. Pleasantly surprised. I really am. Because, I didn't remember a couple of the matches. The Shawn Michaels deal is interesting. I don't know the purpose of that. I hope it's not to get Shawn back in the ring. I'm always fearful of that. I don't mind sweet chin music every now and then, but anyway, I'll leave it there. I'm on the brink here. So thank you everybody for watching and listening. If you want to go ad free, patreon.com/WWE podcast, or go to the Apple or Spotify ad free subscription links and go ad free there, or follow me on X at Wrestling Audio, which is just the WWE podcast if you search it. So I appreciate everybody's support. Hopefully the next time you hear me, things will be back and rolling normally, and we can move on with the sicknesses. Hope everybody's staying healthy as well and staying warm. I know it's snowing down there, down in Florida, down in New Orleans. So for New Orleans, actually, New Orleans had a bigger snowstorm than we have in upstate New York all year. They had not total snow, but in a single storm, they had like 8 or 9 inches. Our biggest storm is like 3 or 4 or 5 inches. Like, what the hell's going on? I don't know. Maybe everybody can start really just, keeping their cars in idle, or making sure that you don't take public transportation and that you put as many fossil fuels in the air as possible, so that the weather can get a little more extreme. We can get bigger snowstorms up here. So I'm counting on everybody. Any fossil fueled engine, use it. I want the most greenhouse gas effect. That's maximize it. That's what we need. All right. Thanks everybody. I'll talk to you guys next time. So take care.
Thanks for listening to the WWE podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.